section of our QFT assignment. This assignment focuses on organizing and presenting secondary data using both graphical and numerical methods. Our goal is to analyze the data accurately, understand how it varies, and develop our ability to interpret statistical findings effectively. The main objective of our study is to examine the variation in student performance based on their monthly food expenditure and residency. By analyzing the data we have collected, aim to find out whether there are significant differences in academic performance among students taking the business statistics course. Through this case study, we hope to provide practical recommendations to help improve student performance, especially by identifying performance trends, finding factors behind the low score, and comparing results based on class and program. This will help us suggest data-driven strategies for academic improvement. Now, why is this important? Managing personal finance is a common challenge for college students today, including me. With the rising cost of living and limited financial support, many students struggle to manage their daily expenses, including food, transportation, entertainment, and study materials. That's why in this assignment, we focus on analyzing the monthly spending habits of 40 students with their expenses divided into 5 main categories, which is food, transportation, entertainment, academic material, and 5 is miscellaneous. To ensure fairness and accuracy in our data collection, we use the simple random sampling (SRS) method. Specifically, we apply the lottery method where each individual in the population had an equal and unbiased chance of being selected. This method helps eliminate favoritism and pattern during selection and ensure that our data is fair and reliable. Lottery methods. The first step is in setting up the digital weeks online. We enter the student number of sample of 264 students from KPM Bandar Melaka who each had a record of expenses in 5 major areas: food, transportation, entertainment, academic material, and miscellaneous. We also include qualitative variables like gender, residency program, and semester. For our analysis, we selected food as the quantitative variable and residency as the qualitative one. We enter all 264 students' number into the wheels. We click the spin button and wheel starts spinning quickly, creating suspense and simulating a fair jury just like a real-life lottery system. The spinning introduces our unpredictably, ensuring the process remains random and unbiased. Once the wheel slows down and stops at the random student number, it's selected. As shown in the image, the selected number here is ST010. This is our first selected sample out of 40 students. The selection is clearly displayed in the middle of the wheels, giving us full transparency. To complete the selection of 40 students, we repeat the spinning process 39 more times. This repetition ensures the selection remains fair and random for all participants. By the end, we have full list of 40 students who selected without bias.
In this slide, we are presenting the data for student monthly food expenditure using a frequency distribution table. We collect the data and group it into 6 classes based on how much they spend. So, from that we know that the most students, which is 9 students, are spent between 170 ringgit to 209 ringgit and 330 ringgit to 369 ringgit. Next, this table includes the important details like class limit. That is the range of each group. The class width is 40, class mark used for calculating mean, and class boundaries for accuracy in further calculation. This table helps us understand how students spending their money in different range. This slide shows the qualitative data on students' residency, whether they live on campus or off campus. From the bar chart, we can see that 23 students live on campus, while 17 live off campus. This means more students stay on campus. The pie chart further breaks this down into percentage. About 57.5% of students live on campus and 42.5% live off campus. To conclude, the majority of students in our survey stay on campus.
This slide shows that monthly food expenditure of 40 students divided to 6 different expenditure range. Each range shows the number of students and the midpoint for each class. For example, 3 students spend between Ringgit 139.50 and Ringgit 169.50 with a midpoint of Ringgit 149.50. The highest number of students, which is 9 students, are in two ranges, which is Ringgit 165.50 up to Ringgit 209.50 and Ringgit 329.50 and Ringgit 369.50. Below the table, we can see a histogram and a frequency polygon. This graph helps us visualize the data more clearly. From the histogram, we can identify the mode, which is the expenditure range with the highest frequency in this case. Also, from the shape of the frequency polygon, we can say the data is positively skewed, meaning more students spend at the higher end of the range. In summary, this data shows that most students either spend quite low or quite high on food monthly. This slide presents the OGI graph showing the monthly food expenditure of 40 students. From the graph and the table, we can observe the cumulative frequency of students spending most of the money. Most students spend between Ringgit 164.50 to Ringgit 200.50 and also between Ringgit 329.50 and Ringgit 369.50 with 9 students in each of these range. The quartiles are quartile 1 is 200 Ringgit 61 cents and quartile 2, which is median, 255 Ringgit and 21 cents. Quartile 3 is 312 Ringgit and 36 cents. Based on the OGIF, we can see that 30 students spend more than 285 Ringgit 50 cents monthly. Meanwhile, no students spend less than 129 Ringgit 50 cents. This data help identify spending patterns among students, especially those with higher or lower food expenses. I will now explain the data analysis section focusing on the mean and mode for monthly food expenditure. Let's start with the mean. To calculate the mean, we use the formula mean equal to sum fx divided to sum f. From the table, sum fx is 10,340. Sum f is 40. So, the mean monthly expenditure is mean equal to 10,350 divided to 40, which we get 258 Ringgit and 50 cents. This tells us that the average monthly spending on food is 258 Ringgit and 50 cents. Now, let's look at the mode. Mode is the class with the highest frequency, which is 164 Ringgit 50 cents to 209 Ringgit 50 cents with a frequency of 9. Using for the mode formula, mode equal to 164 Ringgit 50 cents plus 9 minus 3 divided to 2 multiplied by 9 minus 3 minus 7 multiplied 40, which we get 199 Ringgit 50 cents. So, the most common monthly expenditure is 199 Ringgit 50 cents.
This slide shows how we calculate the quartile for workers' monthly food expenditure using grouped data. First, we have the frequency table, which shows the class boundaries, frequency, cumulative frequency, and class location. Then, we apply the quartile formulas. For Q1, the 10 value falls in the second class. Using the formula, we get Q1 as 300. For Q2, or the median, the 20 value is in the third class. The formula gives us Q2 as 255.21. And for the Q3, the 30 value lies in the fourth class is 312.36. These values help us understand the data distribution and how the expenditure is spread among the workers. Based on our analysis using the lottery method, we found that students who live outside the hostel spend more money compared to those staying in the hostel. This is mainly because outsiders have to pay for the house rent, transport, and food, while hostel students already have these facilities provided. Hostel students also save time and money since they can walk to class and eat cheaper food at the cafeteria. And for the recommendations to help students manage their spending, I recommend a few things. First, students should plan their daily expenses and try to save money. For example, they can set a daily budget like RM7 or spend 20 but only once a week. Eating only once a day, making sure it covers lunch to dinner, can also help cut costs. Besides, I suggest doing a simple part-time job like becoming a personal shopper. They can take orders from friends and shop at the mall and charge per item to earn extra income. This way, students can still study while managing their finance better.